We'll see. We'll see if we can get those viewer replays. But for now, we're jumping into our semifinals and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, these two very often go back and forth. I would say a slight edge in favor of ByuN, but even then, it's still quite close between the two players. We'll see how this does turn out. So this could also be a fast one here, as they're not afraid to cheese and proxy each other game after game after game. For now, though, Rax is back at home. Rax at home here for ByuN. Rax at home for Cure. Okay, so already a bit of a variation here. ByuN rushing to his own second gas geyser. So he does take the faster second gas. Cure does not. So this is actually reminiscent to game 1 between Percival and Cure. If you remember, if you were here for it, game 1 in that series was Percival opening up double gas and being the aggressor, and Cure opening up economically and being the defender. Same thing here. Same thing here. We'll see if Cure can actually survive the aggression of ByuN and maintain his economic lead, as he's going for a CC on the low ground. The pressure is going to be on ByuN to get damage done. So we've seen this dynamic before. Have seen it before. As there's that faster factory on the way. Now, as a reminder, this is not an all-in. Technically, this can turn into an all-in. I don't expect that, though. I expect factory into a command center on the low ground for ByuN. Just an aggressive start. We'll move out. Now with this, he may just be scouting for proxies. Yep, he checks his triangular third, checks the low ground location, and should check the linear location as well. Yep, goes for the gold, and checks the linear third. So you can see ByuN being as secure as possible. I'm sure he was watching that last series. I'm sure he saw Cure cheese the hell out of Percival. ByuN's like, nah, not me. You're not gonna catch me out, Pappy. Yeah. So ByuN does check, does confirm, everything is looking normal. And soon ByuN can move out. Can move out. Oh, as we do have a reactored Hellion here out of Cure. So getting into an abundance of Hellions early on. Getting up to 2, getting up to 4. Meanwhile, ByuN getting to its own earlier Cyclone, does dip out, does run into the Hellions. And Cure should be able to defend here as the units line up. And Cure shuts down the final Hellion. So Cure does defend. Meanwhile, ByuN setting up for some drop play. Alas, losing the initial Reaper Hellion is going to be brutal. It does take a lot of the firepower away from ByuN early on. So for the most part, Cure should be okay. Cure is still making more Hellions. Okay, he's still continuing Hellion production. Getting up to 5. Heads for the mineral line. I mean, he will roast up those SCVs. Oh. Getting 2 so far, getting 3. It is going to be a one-way trip. Cyclone will clean this up. But this will delay the drop. That's what's important here. Drop is delayed. And Cure, he's now aware the drop is coming. So Cure, he has time to react, time to respond. Now switching to Marines and to tank production. Tank also on the way for ByuN. Now, because of the faster tech lab, ByuN, he does have a tank lead. I mean, faster factory as well. Put this up in tanks. Hellions once again distracting ByuN. Distract him. Once again going for the mineral line. As it does get in. Meanwhile, at the same time, drop does hit the mineral line of Cure, but Cure, he's someone in position. He does pull the boys. He will lose 3 SCVs. Oh, did I say 3? 6! Oh my god. Yeah, tank bully is brutal here. And ByuN, he won't quite break through, but does get 7 workers nonetheless. Nice damage. Across the map, ByuN does defend. And ByuN is still maintaining this position as he continues to just rally across the map, moving out with a second tank. Remember, ByuN, he did start this game from behind economically, so he needs to get damage done. He's still down in workers. ByuN still needs more. Dropping into the main. Denies mining. Gets 1 SCV. Gets another. I believe that's 9 kills in total. Yeah, does pull out. He pulls out, gets his third base on location. This is a way for him to recover and try to get ahead economically. Dropping on the dropping on the tank. Not quite able to. Cheeky moves out of ByuN. Oh, nice kill on the gas geyser. But he's gonna have to get out of here soon. And disables the dawn of these Ravens. ByuN looks like he does lose his Cyclone in the main. Oh, loses his own Viking. Oh, ByuN bleeding out a lot of units here. He has to get out. He has to pull away. Medevac falls. ByuN, he just lost a Medevac, a Viking, and a Cyclone. Liberator does pop up in the main, though. Okay. A scrappy moment. Very back and forth. Snipes a tank in the main. And there we go. ByuN, he finally pulls away. ByuN, he finally does pull back. Likewise, Kira getting his own third base. And from here, we need to take stock. Okay. So from here, ByuN, he does have a slight economic lead. He is down in workers, but he's been mining from his third base a little bit longer. So that has helped him. He's got that extra mule as well. So with that, he's able to catch up economically. When it comes to the sizes of the army here, looking at the units tab, we have an even tank count. The Raven count is heavily in favor of Cure. Unfortunately, ByuN was unable to snipe any of the Ravens. So this is a very big advantage that Cure has. Ravens, they are just so valuable here in TvT. They can disable tanks, they can anti-armor missile the ByuN army, they can throw down auto charge to protect their own tanks as well. They're so versatile. So that those Ravens are going to be a big X factor. When it comes to the Vikings, also in favor of Cure. What does ByuN have? And tanks and Marines. He has more Marines, he has more dive potential. ByuN, he does often forego Vikings in favor of Mass Marine. That's like his way of enjoying TvT, and it can work, but it's really risky. Really, it relies quite heavily here on just pulling apart the defending player, catching out tanks, catching out catching out medevacs, catching the army out of position, and going for doom drops as well. That's usually how ByuN enjoys TvT. Just a lot of drop play, a lot of doom drops. Meanwhile, Kira is going for a more traditional form of TvT, just fire tank with Raven support into Viking. ByuN, he does have his upgraded advantage over his opponents. He has Stim, he has combat shields. Again, all upgrades in favor of ByuN for his bio. But if he's not able to make use of it, then it doesn't matter. And so far, it's being zoned away. And Kira, in a couple of seconds, he will catch up in those upgrades. So Curious catching up, finishing Stim, finishing 1-1 in a couple of seconds, combat shields on the way. The advantage that ByuN once had, it's not really there anymore. That window is closed. Instead, ByuN, I mean, he has been enjoying map control, true. Now he gets a gold base. The gold is going to help quite a lot when it comes to his bio army, when it comes to trading, even trading inefficiently. He can afford to do so. Fourth base not being taken for Cure, but a more passive fourth. ByuN is still being active. No major engagements yet. A lot of this will come down to the positional play of these tanks and the angle of the fight, of the attack. But it's always hard to discount like these Ravens. Like, even though ByuN, technically he's maxed out, right? Technically ByuN has a larger army supply, but Ravens don't care about that supply. Like, so in a head-on fight, I do still favor Cure. We can see though, Cure, he's out of position. He's mainly focused his attention here towards the south side, and ByuN goes for a massive rotation. He's going for the third. Ravens not in position. And ByuN stims. He rushes in. He does go for the scan. Boys are being pulled. And Cure, he's not where he needs to be. Mineral line goes down. And from here, ByuN can pull out. He can pull out, he can pull away. 21 SCV kills. Ravens, they disable one tank, but just the one. And ByuN can just pull out. He can just get the hell out of here. Likewise, Liberate on the right hand side, and he is pulling Cure apart. Cure now being dragged over towards the south side. ByuN pushing once again towards the north. Cure trying to keep up. More reinforcements on the way, and this expansion is exposed. Yeah, it is exposed. Does go for the drop. Takes out the tank, forces friendly fire. Tank goes down. And Cure just can't keep up. He cannot keep up. Again, I still favor Cure in a head-on fight, but ByuN's just not giving it to him. He's just not fighting head-on. Always engaging wherever Cure is not. Oh, the Ravens! He gets one, he gets two. Massive pickoffs here. 2 Ravens go down. That was the one linchpin here that could have made Cure win a fight in this head-on engagement. Not anymore. Not anymore. And here comes the Doom Drop. Yeah, past the turrets. It's not going to be pretty. We'll lose one full medevac. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Medevac's going to be going down, but he does unload in the main. And this is the kill move here for ByuN. Takes down the tank. Tank blow is going to be going off. SimCity working against Cure. Cure, he will clean this up though. So he does force his way in. Takes down all the tanks. And with that, Cure, he is evening up that supply. Again, ByuN did lose a lot trying to get into the main. And now we have a back and forth. Now, ByuN still has that economic lead, true. But suddenly, Cure is ahead in tanks. Cure ahead in Vikings. ByuN did not have to go for that Doom Drop. Didn't have to go for it. Did lose his edge. Leaving out another tank. ByuN still has that supply lead. Still has that lead. Still very, very marine oriented. 3-3 finishing up for both players. ByuN is also getting +3 vehicle weapons as well. So slightly ahead in those upgrades. Oof, as ByuN, he will lose his tanks. Nice land with the Vikings. ByuN rotating again. ByuN, he hasn't made a single Viking in a long time, if not at all this game. They're just the one. Just pure marine medevac and tank. Really just marine medevac. That's all that's here. And Curie securing himself. This time he's in position, throwing down more sensor towers, catching another tank. ByuN, that lead that he once had is not there. Not there anymore. CC's going to go down. Now it's ByuN who's out of position. That's a kill on that command center. Cure going for another planetary. ByuN, how does he respond? Does he lose another expansion? Yeah, he will. He will lose a second base. Oh my god, massive tank just going up. ByuN falling apart. He will clean up these tanks. But Curie's not done. He got 2 bases and now he's going for another. He stims in. Gets a tank. Okay. Thankfully, the Marines, they can respond, and ByuN defends. Whew, doesn't just defend. Oh my god. ByuN takes down the Medivacs. Takes down both the Medivacs. Likewise, this time this drop is going to be buying time. Ooh, but it will fall. Yeah, Kira losing his bio army. A very cheap army, though. Kira pushing to the south side. This base is exposed for ByuN. Moving in. Ooh, he doesn't see the expansion. Ah, that would have been a free base. Doesn't see it. Does get within range of the planetary, though. And ByuN should lose the planetary and should also lose bottom right. Assuming the Kira does scout. As ByuN is being starved out here. Losing base after base. Expansion after expansion. Is trying to re-expand. Trying to retake. ByuN getting ready for almost a surround. Now where are we going? They're going for a counterattack instead. It's going for a counterattack. Kira not at home to defend. ByuN finding some damage here. Gets a tank, gets one, gets two, gets all three. Yeah, ByuN, he will break this position. Going for the natural. ByuN going right down mid and going to for the heart here of the Terran army for the production. Making his way in, gets the mineral line. SCV's going down. Kira, now he turns around. But he's too late. He's too little too late. As Kira, he will lose the natural and 15, 16, 7, 20 SCVs. 19 even. 19 SCVs go down and ByuN, he pulls out. He pulls out, he gets away. Very nice drop, very nice counterattack. And now suddenly Kira, he had momentum. Not anymore. Not anymore. Kira lost it. He was out of position one time too many. ByuN now maxed out. Kira plummets in supply. Down 50. Kira trying to retake other expansions. Floating on over. Oh, catching at the Ravens. Despite that, missile goes up. Ooh, brutal connections. We get dusted by the Dorito. And ByuN, he will clean this up. Again, a very intense back and forth. Strong moments from both players. But last, ByuN, he will come out on top. He will barely come out on top. Takes out all the tanks. Takes out all the bio. And GG gets called. Whew, ByuN, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. ByuN does take lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth. ByuN initially had a lead. Initially, ByuN, he was in the driver's seat. He was in control. And then he tried to doom drop. I mean, I say try. He did doom drop. Lost everything. Lost everything. Momentum swung back in favor of Kira. He was able to reestablish, resettle himself, and fortify his bases. Then we had more of a back and forth. Kira knocking down bases. ByuN as well. Very intense. In the end, ByuN does take game 1. GG. GG, well played. It does take lead in the series, and we'll see if Kira can bounce back. We'll see if he can bounce back. I mean, I'm sure he can. Coming into this, I did assume that we were going to be getting an ace match, so we'll see if we can get that. We'll see if Kira can bring it back here. See if he can bring it back. As we are loading into El Dorado. Loading into El Dorado. And we'll see again if we can force that ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. Likewise, as a reminder, here he's still waiting for the winner of the series, still waiting for the winner of these two players. Very patiently. Make sure everyone joins as we jump in. Actually, ¿cómo están? Hello, Kenny. Porforian as well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Not to the knot. Fried fish, of course. Bienvenidos. But yeah, before I get ahead of myself, shout out of course to Dave Testa, shout out to Chicken Man, shout out to the people working behind the scenes at the KSL. For those who don't know, this tournament is completely crowdfunded. Exclamation mark KSL in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Patreon for the KSL. It is organized and hosted by Chicken Man and Dave Testa, so they do a lot for the scene, a lot for the community. I mean, in general, a lot of our current events are crowdfunded. I'm referring to KSL, I'm referring to our tournaments, Sparkling Tuna Cup, I'm referring to Sea Duckling Open, Masters 1 Open as well, referring to the Pigsty Festival that had a big crowdfunding initiative, Wardy's events. He also has a Patreon. He also, again, a lot of his monthly events are funded by his Patreon. Likewise, what else am I thinking of? The Monday night, yeah, Monday night weeklies, also funded by the community, and even SEL in a way. So yeah, shout out to the people, shout out to the patrons, as we're getting into Game 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have our red Terran player from South Korea representing Shopify, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid from South Korea. It is Cure. And we do deviate for the first time this series. Cure opening up double gas opener out of Cure, a mirrored build with ByuN, so both players opening up double gas into faster factories, into a more aggressive start. Last game, if you remember, ByuN was the aggressor and Cure was the defender. It was very similar to what happened in game 1 between Cure and Percival, and hey, the aggressor also did win in that first game in both series. Here we'll see if Cure can kind of wrangle map control away from ByuN, as that's what it's going to come down to. Both players fighting for map control. We'll see where it takes us. Now we're settling in. We see ByuN. ByuN does scout. ByuN, he checks his gold base location, the center location, and the linear third base as well. So ByuN, a little bit paranoid here. Again, because of what happened against Percival. Good reason for ByuN to be paranoid. Does check for proxies. Meanwhile, Cure, he only checks the center location. Doesn't go towards the center, doesn't go towards the top side. So Cure, very confident play. Doesn't bother to fully scout. As ByuN is going to be the first to move out. He doesn't know what he's moving into. Oh, sees the army. He has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away, and one Reaper is going to fall. Nice pick off already here for Cure, and Cure he can chase. He can chase. Cure does have the advantage, does have the supply lead, and ByuN is in trouble. ByuN is in trouble. He's racing back home. He has to wait for his reinforcing. Oh, he's getting add-ons. Has to pull back. Cure, he doesn't risk it. I do think that Cure could have kept going. He could have even delayed the CC, but Cure did not know what he was walking into. There could have been another Reaper, another Hellion waiting for him. We know there wasn't, but Cure, he didn't. He didn't know what was going on, so Cure, he backs up. Now we can calm down. Whew, we can calm down, we can settle in. Could have been disastrous there for ByuN, but for now, we're just going to expand, take our natural bases, and work towards our drop play. Matter of fact, it's on the way for that initial drop from ByuN. Likewise, Cure also going for his drop as well. Again, mirrored builds. Cure has a slight lead just because of the Reaper, but only slight. As drops do move out, and we'll see who drops that Cyclone first. Wait, sorry, I thought the Cure had a Cyclone. No Cyclone. Oh, he notices though, he pulls away. Yeah, Cure, he noticed, he avoids the drop. ByuN did not notice. ByuN did miss that, or did miss that delta on the minimap. Cure going to the mineral line. Void's being pulled. SCV is going to be going down. Brutal economic damage. The mine shot's going to go off as well. Oh no! The mine shot! Up on the bio. Very nice connection. Marines go down. Tank is left. 6 SC vehicles. At the same time, ByuN just get into the mineral line. Likewise doing some counter damage. But CranKy will deflect this. He has his own defensive cyclone. And trading 7 for 7. Ooh, tank goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal loss there for ByuN. And CranKy does take the better trade. Yeah, CranKy even gets the medevac. Medevac goes down. Not like this. CranKy gets the medevac, gets a cyclone, and gets a tank. That's what's important. The tank kill was brutal. And with that, CranKy takes the lead. I mean, ByuN, he is slightly ahead in SCVs, true. I mean, that may be able to make up for that with that slight worker advantage. But the tank count is brutal. And CranKy is pushing. Yeah, CranKy knows that he has momentum. He's moving out. CranKy has that edge. ByuN back at home. He's in trouble. We'll see if he can hold on. Does siege up on the high ground, thankfully. Yeah, tank is revealed. The disable though. Oh wait, sorry, there is no disable. There is no disable. Auto turret goes up. Tank is going to go down. CranKy breaks through. And what is it to defend? There's nothing. There's nothing to defend. There's 2 Marines in a medevac. Tank is on the way. He needs a couple more seconds. Tank is getting in position. And thankfully, with the help of that tank, ByuN will hold. Yeah, ByuN, who will barely hold on. Whew. Likewise, CranKy shuts down the Viking. Pulls back, getting a 3rd CC. Likewise, so is ByuN, and then we can calm down. So after that intense aggression, after we deflect each other, worker counts are pretty close. Worker counts are pretty neck and neck. It's the army supply that's the biggest difference here, the biggest deciding factor. Oof. Oh no, as the medevac gets caught. That was a tank as well. So risky here by ByuN. So incredibly risky. This tank did survive, but the tank is out in the open. The tank is trapped. And here comes the main army. And now we have 1 less tank to defend. Now, CranKy, if he sees a CC, he can force a cancel. Otherwise, he might opt to go for the natural. Yeah, he's going for the natural instead. Goes in the auto turret. Boys are being pulled. Bunker goes down. Does get the bunker. If only he knew the CC is going to finish. Like, canceling that CC would be game. That would be game then and there if he could force a cancel. But he doesn't check. He does not check. Because ByuN catching reinforcements in the center. Let's go. And CranKy pulls away. He pulls away. He doesn't check. He doesn't check. He doesn't see the 3rd base. ByuN, he gets away with it. Very risky move there by ByuN. Trades 1 for 1. And ByuN is still in this. He's still in this game. Despite the losses, he gets away with the base on location. CranKy just now taking his own CC. And here we go. We do see our initial scan. The game is going to slow down. We do see CranKy being active, and there is potential here for CranKy to potentially get into that expansion and deny the 3rd. There's still potential. CranKy still has a larger army. CranKy's up in tanks, even on Vikings. He has the Raven, no disable. CranKy making his way over. ByuN likewise, Vikings not in position to defend. He's going for his own counterattack instead. Yeah, boys are being pulled away. 3rd base is denied. But it should survive. Question mark with the repairs. Yeah, it should be okay. Should be okay. Likewise, Land Viking harass going for stim. Deny stim. Not bad. Stim is denied. Oof. CC still taking a lot of hits. Yeah, boys are being pulled back at home. It's not gonna be a pretty fight here for CranKy. Oh my god. As Curious breaking through that natural back across the map. As we mentioned, it's going to be 11 SCV kills. Liberator has arrived. A lot of workers going to be going down. 14 SCVs. But in a way, this is a little bit more impactful here as Cure, he denies a third. He's on 4 CCs. And he's going for the tanks. Economically, Cure takes a lot of damage, but he was already ahead. He was already ahead economically. He may have lost all those workers, but Cure is still even on the worker count. ByuN sneaks out. I don't know how. I don't know how, but he does sneak out. Gets past the Vikings, gets past the blockade. Heads towards top left. Cure forced to lift. Forced to try to respond. Remember, Cure does not have stim. Have 1-1 though. As a CC should survive. Yeah, barely. Meanwhile, ByuN, let's go, goes for the gold. Also a base that can be abused, if Cure was aware. Oh. Yeah, this is not going to be pretty. Cure, he does try to break through this. Vikings, they land. He does take down 3 of those tanks. Not the cleanest trade. Losing all the Vikings. And ByuN stims down. He stims down. He cleans this up completely. Yeah, Cure overextends. And Cure, he doesn't deny the gold. So the supplies are a little bit telling here, but ByuN is what looks to be double expanding. Yeah, getting a CC on location, so he's double expanding. The gold base does help, so even though ByuN is down in workers, he makes up for that. Tells us a full medevac though. ByuN, you're not helping. Tells us a full medevac. The pressure still on ByuN here to recover. So a lot of pressure on ByuN. So ByuN still going for more drop play. Cure still maintains that larger army. Sure, ByuN is recovering with the gold base, that is true, but he's still in the process of recovering. He's still on the way. Still getting there. Okay, very meticulous movement here by ByuN. Cure coming with his drop. Does hit the third.
Game paused.
Hopefully everything's okay. So we do have a bit of a pause. Oh. Hopefully everything's okay. Again, when it comes to this kind of game state here, it is up to ByuN to buy time, and he's doing so, right? We're going for all these drops time and time again. He somehow slips by the main army. He's able to distract Cure, able to buy more time, and hopefully stabilize. It's the hope here for ByuN. It's still very much so an uphill battle. But this game has been closer than it otherwise could have been. Thanks to the drop play, thanks to some of the otherwise misscouting or misscouting from Cure. As he should be aware the gold has been taken. Oh, does overextend. We'll at least get the tank just barely. Gets tank stims in. There we go, denies mining, finally. Denies mining at the gold base. So far it has paid for itself. Has been mining for long enough. Sure, he hasn't seen center right. Catches out more tanks though. Nice pickups. Take down the tanks. does rotate. Finally, Cure getting into the southern half of the map. You can see here it's pure Marine. It's pure Marine for ByuN. We have 3 tanks lagging behind. They're not quite ready for this. Oh. ByuN also going for the southern gold. Let's go. Oh no! There's no way out of this though. The gold base is going to go down. Again, ByuN getting a little bit desperate with what it was trying to get away with those southern bases. Expansion goes down. ByuN is heavily supply blocked. And in TvT, there's always a chance to recover, but again, at this point, ByuN is hoping for Cure to make mistakes. He's hoping for mistakes like a failed Doom drop, getting caught unsieged, getting caught out of position in some way. So that's the hope for ByuN. That's the hope. So we do see ByuN catching other tanks. Not bad. Okay. The Mass Marine. Hey, it works. But you know what? We have a second army. We have a second army coming in. He dealt with a portion of the army, but really that was only a portion. Cure comes in for the kill. GG. GG, well played. Cure ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Going to the ace match here again. Cure did find himself with a very nice lead, with a very nice advantage when it came to his initial early game. If you remember, he was able to pick off early tanks, pick off early Reapers. He was able to gain momentum and take an army lead and contain ByuN. There was a really nice moment when ByuN took his third. If you remember, there was that moment where Cure was knocking down that front door, but behind the main army of Cure, there was a third CC building up, and ByuN got away with it. He got away with that base, and that allowed ByuN to stay in the game, but wasn't quite able to recover from those losses, from the earlier lost units, the earlier lost SCVs. Like, Cure was ahead for most of this game, if not the majority of this game. And the pressure was on ByuN for a lot of that to recover, and didn't quite get there. Didn't quite get there in the end. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Let's go. Game 3 is going to be on Ultra Love. And coming into the ace match here, I mean, actually every series we've casted here tonight has gone to the ace match. Let's go. Every single one has gone to game 3. Finals as well? We'll get there, we'll get there. As we are still to determine the final player to face up against Hero. Jumping in. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the other South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Ooh, and do you see what I see? I see an SCV moving out across the map. Both SCVs, they do come across each other. And if you notice, what Cure was actually rallied here towards the linear third base location for a proxy. Likewise, ByuN, the proxies are denied. They were both going to proxy each other. They both scout each other, and they both had to back off. You can see, Cure, he's checking for where the SCV was headed, and ByuN has to turn around. Hey, Spider-Man meme. Like, unironically, both players were about to go 2-racks with one proxied across the map. Both players were 100% going for that build, and both players are denied as they ran into each other. Now we have our Raxes on the way, and now we can calm down. Nonsense. Let's go. Let us go. So it's going to be double gas here out of Cure as he tries to recover and, deviate away from this. Likewise, ByuN, economic opener. Rax expand. For the first time this series, ByuN is not going double gas. Interesting. So ByuN is going to be the defender here, and Cure is going to be the aggressor. The roles have been reversed. here we go. As ByuN is going for the faster CC on the low ground, and Kira is going for a faster factory. If only ByuN had a Valkyrie, he'd know how to handle a bunch of mass Vikings. True, true. S to Avex. Best of luck, by the way. Best of luck when it comes to the TLMC results. I don't think they're out. Oh, wait, no. They're out. I didn't see. Wait, when did this happen? This morning? Yeah, this morning. Morning for me, I guess. But, oh, I didn't see. Okay, who made it through? Who made it? I'm getting a little bit distracted. Let's see, 5th place. We have our openers, by the way. Oh my god. Meanwhile, ByuN, so if you remember, he went for a single gas opener. I assumed he was going for a faster factory. ByuN, he goes Rax expand into what? Sorry, I assumed it was going to be an economic opener, right? Because 1 gas. So I assumed just Rax expand. It was Rax expand into a 3rd CC in TvT, by the way. Hyper greed out of ByuN. This is very risky. This is greedier than what Percival was trying to do earlier, if you remember. If you recall, Percival did attempt to go for an economic build himself, and Percival, he was denied. So crazy build here out of ByuN. We'll see if he can get away with it. Remember, Cure, he went for a delayed CC. Cure was the one that went for the faster factory, and Cure, he should be the aggressor here. ByuN just threw away his first 2 Reapers. Cure should feel confident moving out, and we'll see what Cure can get done. We'll see if Cure can scout this. That's what's important. It's important here that Cure recognizes what's going on, so that Cure knows that there's a window in time where he can be aggressive, where he can punish ByuN. There's a big window here where ByuN can be punished. Oh boy. Cure, he's settling in, going for his add-on swap. Cure, he doesn't go for the early Cyclone, so he's going to build up into his own tank count. Tank Raven, standard follow-up, and Cure, he's staying at home. He's staying at home, and he's being more passive. He will build up towards potentially a 2-base push, but for the meantime, he's stuck at home, which means he doesn't see what's going on. He doesn't know how greedy ByuN has been. And that's my biggest concern. Without knowing that, Cure, he won't know that he can be aggressive, that he can be assertive, more so than usual. Without that knowledge, Cure might be more defensive instead. So we'll see if ByuN can get away with it. He hasn't gone away with it yet. Not yet. ByuN is building up. Yo, let's see. Sorry. And just catching up on the TLMC results. Last Fantasy got 1st place. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure a big part of that is because it was the only 3rd player map. It's the only player map with 3-player spawns. With 3 possible spawn locations. I think it was the only... That's probably the only reason. I'll be honest, because of that, I did pick it as my number 1 as 5 points for Last Fantasy. I mean, I had to. I had to go for it. Had to go for Last Fantasy. Who else made it through? Persephone. Yeah, Persephone was a really popular map. During our tournaments, we casted, or we hosted, I should say, a lot of TLMC events throughout the past week in the lead up to the voting. And Persephone was really, really popular by the players, actually. There we go. ByuN is pushing. ByuN is moving out. Oh, sorry, ByuN. Cure is moving out. Cure has disabled, and Cure is going to break this location. Yeah, he will break this. Cure, he doesn't even know what he's moving into, by the way. He doesn't even know how greedy ByuN has been. Tank is going to go down. ByuN does unsiege in time. Clutch move there out of ByuN. Does unsiege. But the tanks are moving in. Boys are being pulled. It's not going to be a clean hold here for ByuN, as SCVs are going down. And ByuN, he will barely hold on at a cost, though. At a cost of 10 SCVs, cost of a Raven. ByuN does survive. And remember, he does have that 3rd CC. Still has it. What's crazy, what's impressive to me is that ByuN, he holds, and ByuN, he still has a worker lead. That just shows just how much this base has come into play here. And not just that, I mean, to be fair, Cure also had a later expansion, later natural. But ByuN still ahead economically. ByuN holds, ByuN survives. He's making a game out of this. Let's go. I mean, ideally he would have liked to have enjoyed a greater economic lead. True. Would have liked that. Oh. Miss rally there by Cure. Does lose a tank. ByuN, he defends, he survives, getting into Stim, getting into Vikings, the rest of his production. And ByuN can soon take his third base. He can soon expand. Morning-ish, afternoon. Wait, yesterday? Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if results are either very close or not at all. I mean, I would say that as opposed to previous seasons of TLMC, I might be mistaken, but I do want to say that this time more tournaments featured the TLMC maps. We can get into it after the game. But for the time being, Curie does go for his dropper ass. 4 SV kills, not bad. This will cost him all his Vikings though, and this I don't think is worth it, as all the Vikings are going to go down, so Curie losing his Viking lead. Does get another 9 SCV kills though. Curie does take a worker advantage. Behind this, Cure down to 1 Viking. He's also down in tanks. He's down in Vikings, down in tanks, down in bio. The army supply is in favor of ByuN. Now is ByuN's time to shine. Now it's his time. Oh, that's too soon. Doesn't lose his Raven. Doesn't lose the Raven. ByuN is counterattacking. Does one that gets surrounded. So far, nice disable. Takes out one of the tanks. There's still a nice spread of tanks here though for Cure. Ooh, full medevac goes down. And ByuN goes for it. He goes for it. He takes out the first 2 tanks, going for the third CC. At the same time, Cure going for a counterattack, getting more workers across the map. Doing what he can. But Curie backs off. Curie pulls away. And with that, ByuN gets 14 SCV kills. He contains Cure on 2 bases. ByuN has his third. So far, still up and running. And ByuN wants more. Yeah, he wants more. There's only 1 tank, and ByuN breaks through that defensive line. Curie doesn't have much left for him to defend. He has 1 tank. The boys are being pulled. Vikings, they land. More SCV's going to be falling. And ByuN so close to breaking Cure here and now. Still rallying, still pushing in. Again, because there's only 1 tank, we could just unsiege. Yeah. We have the mass on siege. ByuN is going for the kill. He's going for it. And he's going to get it as well. GG gets called. Cure, he cannot survive the counterattack, and ByuN will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim it. He will take the series. Congratulations. Again, ByuN with a very greedy build here, rushing into a 3rd CC. He did get away with it. Remember, Cure, he never scattered. Cure did go for a push, but he did not do enough damage. What was impressive was that even though he killed, 11 plus SCVs, that was not enough to actually get an economic lead. ByuN was still ahead with when it came to the worker count, got his 3rd base up and running, and ByuN, he snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. ByuN does take it. That leads us into the grand finals. Let's go. Leads us into the grand finals.